While the intention of our trip to Israel was primarily to spend time with Maya's family, and for me to get to know the new in-laws, I am a workaholic.
Well, first interview today. Ooh, that's bright.
So when we were offered an introduction, we simply could not resist the opportunity to get to know a man who dedicated his entire life to creating the first and only Palestinian-focused foundation dedicated to changing the dialogue about cancer from a death sentence to that of education, heroes, and survivors. And despite the atrocities done by the governments of both Israel and Palestine, embraces all people regardless of race or religion to focus instead on love, community, and hope. In the north of Israel lies the ancient city of Nazareth. Often referred to as the Arab capital of Israel, it is the cultural, political, religious, economic, and commercial center of Arab Israeli citizens. It is also the headquarters and origin of the Mariam Foundation, the first Palestinian nonprofit for cancer patients and the home of its founder, Mohammad Hamed.
When I say a Palestinian nonprofit, it's not about politics. We help everybody who approach the Mariam Foundation.
Mainly, we need to fix the Palestinian problem.
Like, it's not only that they have cancer, even if it's treatable, they cannot treat it. Why? Because they don't have money.
Right.
Imagine like the money will decide if you live or not. Israel is occupying Palestine and the West Bank and Gaza. Israel should give the money. It's not charity. If you don't want to have responsibility, so okay. They should do peace.
Yeah, well, they should.
That's what we want, actually.
The Mariam Foundation was inspired by the strength and love of one little girl, Mohammed's little sister, Mariam Hamed.
Mariam was the outgoing, the social, and the one who were always having jokes. Her beauty was really Palestinian. When the cancer came back for 2 times, and they said, maybe you should change the name of Mariam, because Mariam's name is really like, it's like not lucky, she is not charmed, like, something like all women could say. Mm-hmm. And Mariam, I remember Mariam saying like, my name is Mariam and I will die as Mariam. And then she took the papers from the professor and she threw them like this. These are not my tests, I don't care. And she went outside and she would start playing again.
But the thing is that then in that time, we faced many obstacles as a family, as the Arab community wasn't prepared for what is cancer, how they can speak with a cancer patient, how they deal with a cancer patient. 6-year-old child coming to have a treatment from Gaza, and he's forbidden to come with his parents.
She was telling like my parents, why this child doesn't have someone like my mom? Why she was like telling stuff like this.
So imagine how much he's fighting, and he's coming into a new territory, a new building, a new language. He doesn't understand anything. And why we don't have any Palestinian or any Arab non-profit to take care of these issues? We're not gonna wait for Rambam to do something. We have to do something.
At the age of 8, Mariam lost her fight with cancer. But her courage, joy, and love created the spark for survival.
And then after she died, I was like really angry and I wanted to do something.
I wrote a book, and in that book I wrote in the last page that I want to devote my life to cancer patients.
So I wrote it and I said like I'm gonna establish the Mariam Foundation to help every cancer patient, regardless of he's Palestinian or Jewish, I don't care. But
asked our lawyer, he told me you are 15 years old, you cannot establish a foundation. you have to wait 6 years.
And exactly 6 years later, the Mariam Foundation was given life. And through it, scholarships are given to Arabic-speaking students to be mentors and friends, to help these children find joy and hope, sending information home to their parents on the other side of the wall, hosting education events that have raised cancer awareness for the community, resulting in the numbers of breast cancer screenings going from 33% to 75%, hosting fundraising events to cover treatment costs when necessary, and is currently manifesting the next dream, bringing Mariam home into existence, a place to address the emotional needs of survivors who are living with cancer through art, music, and community.
In 2012, I mean, it couldn't have been an easy thing to keep going. Was there ever a point where you're like, this is too much, we're not going to succeed, we're not going to make it?
The family were always supportive, but many of my close friends abandoned me and they told me like, you are stupid, go do something for yourself, what you are doing, go bring money, stuff like this.
So what gives you hope to keep going?
It's very weird if I tell you that, okay, when you go to the cancer oncology, the hospital, you will feel hope, and that's what we feel there. But if you go and visit the cancer patients in Rambam or in the hospitals here, and you see the Jewish doctors or the Jewish cancer patients are playing with the Palestinians from Gaza in the same room, and there are no discriminations there, and that's when you feel, okay, this is humanity, that we are all humans. The hardest is that when we lose someone. But when it comes to Mariam, I really start to think that Mariam was alive and God took Mariam because of this mission. When we listen to these stories, we can make our planet more cozy and more closer to each other and more like human. And then you'll see that, okay, why we are fighting.
Sadness, pain, loss, they're all inevitable in this life. In a place like Israel, when we watch the news, it's pretty much all we see. But what those stories miss are the people. And if you ask them, the majority just want to find reasons to smile, to laugh, maybe just jump up and down like we did as kids, for no other reason than that for right now, it's fun. Sometimes, often even, that's a hell of a lot easier said than done. But with people in the world like Mohammad, Mariam, and everybody who makes the time to bring hope to those who need it, maybe, just maybe, we can be reminded that living is a necessary part of survival, and that while life was never meant to be easy, it's supposed to be worth it.
I want the Gazans and I want the West Bank people to come and visit the beach, not the hospital.
5 4 3 2 1